Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our community conversations. So this is the last community conversations of the year, and we're really excited to feature some businesses that have adapted well to the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is obviously a really tough year for everyone, and especially our small business community that we're we found really important to support, and especially during this time. Local economies are kind of the drivers of our communities, and it's super important to support them. So we have a great agenda today from businesses all across the state of Arkansas. We have Emily Young from Dog Ear Books in the Garage Arcade, Becky Powell from The Perfects, Logan Duvall from Me and McGee Market, Libby Womack Glasgow from Kiss the Cook, and Carl Gefkin from downtown Fort Smith. And they're going to talk to us all about how they've adapted to the COVID-19 pandemic and some ways that you can encourage your local small businesses to kind of weather the storm. With that, it looks like we have Emily Young with us. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with her. So Emily, welcome. And I'm going to hand it over to you to do a little introduction of yourself. And it looks like your mom is with us today as well.
Yes.
So yeah, just introduce yourselves and talk about Dog Ear in the Garage Arcade.
All right. So Dog Ear Books I own with my mom. We are co-owners. And so she's going to talk a little bit about the bookstore and how we've dealt with everything that's going on.
Right. Yeah, I'm Pat Young. Thank you for having us as part of this group. We are basically an independent bookstore in the middle of downtown Russellville. We have been open 4 years this month, and it's been a great journey. When we started out, the used bookstore in town closed, and then Emily had the idea to open a small used bookstore to kind of take that place, and then Hastings closed. And so we decided to go a little bigger, and we did. And it's just grown from there, and we have really enjoyed it. Our store sells new books, used books. It has a lot of book-related items like T-shirts, mugs, bookmarks, lots of cool things for gift ideas. And we had been fortunate enough to have the space in our bookstore for a lot of community activities and meetings and that kind of thing. Once the COVID came along, we had to stop doing that. And so we've had to close up that part of our store, basically. For a few weeks after everything started, we were closed, and then we had to scramble around and figure out how are we going to handle this, how are we going to move forward. So one thing was we didn't have community groups. We don't allow, we have a loft for studying, and we didn't allow people to meet together. We also have a coffee shop in our bookstore, which I'm going to let Emily say a few words about that.
Yeah, so Retro Roast is our coffee shop. It started out in the arcade originally. I acquired a coffee shop for my friend, and so we had it there, and then we realized it made a little bit more sense in the bookstore. So we moved it over, and we opened it at the bookstore kind of right when everything was hitting. So we've had to adjust a lot in that regard. But we roast our own beans. I roast every week. And so, yeah, and we have delivery service and all sorts of stuff for the coffee.
One of the things that we also had to start when the pandemic started causing problems, we had to come up with other ways to get the books and the products to people. So we started doing curbside delivery or pickup, and then we could deliver books. We mailed books. We started promoting the online book sales through Bookshop, and audiobooks through Libro FM, which is our audiobook partner. Our marketing has basically changed in that we have increased especially for the coming season, we've increased our social media presence quite a bit, and we're looking at doing more interactive kind of things online. We have book clubs to keep people interested, and a lot of things like that. We've had game nights, which has been fun to get people interested in some things that they could be doing during this time that they're at home. So we're just trying to be creative like everybody else to keep people interested, to provide their needs. Especially when people started schooling from home, we tried to promote and provide the materials and guidance for people who'd maybe never done that before. So it's all a matter of being part of the community, and they have been extremely supportive of us, and we try to do that back to them. And it's a real joy for us to be part of this community.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to do the arcade?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So the arcade is also downtown, and we just moved to a bigger location that we actually renovated. So when everything hit, we actually just shut down completely because we were in the process of thinking about moving. So we just took it as kind of a good opportunity to completely shut down and slowly, renovate, get everything exactly how we wanted it. So we opened Halloween. We opened a couple weeks ago, and it's just a retro arcade with the big cabinets, quarters. Every plays a quarter, and we have like a console area and some party rooms, which was a big reason we moved, because we needed party rooms. So that has all been fun because you can't have too many people. And like at both places, we require masks at all times. You got to sanitize when you first come in, distance as much as possible. And at first with the arcade, we were doing reservations only so that we knew exactly who was coming in and how many. And then we just kind of we saw that we probably weren't going to have as much of a problem as I thought. People weren't knocking down the door like I was thinking. So it's been a nice steady stream of people, so it's never really gotten out of hand to where it was dangerous. And that's it.
Awesome. And how are you guys gearing up for the holiday season?
Well, I mean, for the arcade, it's just kind of we're pushing gift cards and that sort of thing. So things people could do later if they wanted, because they could book parties for months out and stuff like that. But yeah, here it's relatively, it's not very involved marketing for holidays, but
yeah,
the bookstore is,
it's different. Yeah, we like I said, we're really kind of beefing up our social media presence and promoting gift ideas every day, things that we have, and we do try to make everybody comfortable that wants to come in and shop. And if they'd rather we bring it out to them, we can do that. And we're just trying to give people ideas, and of course gift cards are a big thing. And I guess really social media is our friend right now. So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. At the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A. So if you have any questions, just write them down, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end. So thank you guys so much. And I think next we have Becky Powell from The Perfects. So this is a boutique around Arkansas, and then she'll have a lot of really great stuff for us. So Becky, take it away.
Okay, well, I'm Becky Powell. I also have both of my daughters here with me, Bree and Caitlin, so they'll get a chance to talk as well.
Awesome.
But opened my first Perfects 13 years ago, Perfect Touch. I'm a massage therapist, and so I thought I would just start a massage therapy business and kind of semi-retire. And then there used to be a coffee sandwich shop right next to where my massage business was at. And so we added gifts in the massage studio. Then we opened a coffee sandwich shop next door about a year later. And then about 2 years later, the tanning business that was in that shopping village went under. And so the bank talked me into making an offer on that equipment. We opened up Perfect Glow. 2 years later, the dress shop in town went out of business, and with Perfect Glow, I had acquired a large building with that. So we started carrying apparel. Then about 2 years after that, the neighbor city from where we live, Magnolia, they came and talked me into opening a store in Magnolia. So we opened a clothing, apparel, and gift store there. A year later, coffee sandwich shop there. And last year we opened a store, apparel and gifts in El Dorado. So we kind of grew over 13 years. We've, tried to make smart decisions. And when we opened Magnolia, we made the same amount of money there as we made in our business that we had for 8 years, because we had a huge customer base from there. And then when we opened in El Dorado last year, it was the same thing, opening up, same amount of money. So we live life to the fullest. Brianna, my oldest daughter, she pushed really hard last year trying to grow the online business. We do have a website, so we do online, and we do lives and stuff, and we'll get into that. But I think the main thing is that we've always been very transparent with our customers, and we excel in customer satisfaction, which is what I think has really been the key of success for our businesses. When COVID hit, when I tell you, I literally almost dropped my basket on March the 18th, because COVID hit, everything was just about shutting down, and my payroll is over $10,000 a week. So I knew that I could not sustain that without the normal amount of income that we had coming in. So on March the 20th, we closed. We closed for 4 weeks. In that 4 weeks, we did everything we could to generate all the cash flow that we could. We do live every Tuesday night and Thursday night. You can watch Caitlin do the lives. We can all do them, but all of our customers want to see Caitlin do it. So we just let her do all of the Facebook lives. But we really stepped up on that, and our online business really helped us through that time. While we were shut down, about 2 years ago, I bought all new equipment and everything for the coffee sandwich shop, but we never had time to remodel it. So in that 4 weeks that we were shut down, we did remodel Perfect Cup in Camden and made some modifications so that when we did open back up, that, we could manage the distancing, a little bit better. Our area was not hit really hard in the beginning with COVID. So when we did open back up on April the 20th, we were closed for 4 weeks, opened back up on April the 20th. It was a little bit slow when we opened back up, but it took it about a week or two to kind of get us back up, to where we are now. When we were trying to do the online for the 4 weeks that we were shut down, our profit was not where we would have wanted it to be, but we generated enough income to pay all the overhead for all of the businesses during that 4 weeks. And the way we did that was through discount codes, free shipping, buy this, you get a discount. We just promoted online. We did everything we could. Like I said, our profit margin wasn't where we wanted it to be. However, we did generate cash flow, which was the immediate need for that time. Also, I was going to tell you about some things. Well, let me say this too. We have already had 2 of our open house events. They were a little bit different. We didn't generate exactly as much as we had during that time, but we did spread it out over a couple of days instead of just having it for 1 4-hour period. And that really seemed to help. And I'm going to say our overall numbers for the year, we're up by 2%. So to me, that's huge, especially with us being shut down, for those 4 weeks that we were shut down. Also, last week, we had one of our team members that was exposed to COVID. And so I made a decision to shut down the coffee sandwich shop in Camden because it's a small town and people are really looking to see how you're handling it and all. And even though all of my team members in Camden were not exposed, I still put all of the Camden team members off work to get tested, and we paid them for that. And then we opened back up on Monday. Everybody was negative. I stayed transparent on Facebook, you know, letting everybody know about, you know, what was going on with that. We have masks hanging on our doors and it just says, if you need one, take one. And we have hand sanitizer stations that we put in and implemented. And that's some of the things that we have done. But really, I've got Caitlin and Bree that are going to tell you about some more stuff about lives, and Brianna's going to talk to you about Sizzle. Caitlin's going to talk about Comment Sold. So I'll let them tell you a few things.
So on Comment Sold, it's one of our platforms that we use to do live sales on Facebook. I do those at least on every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. It's super simple. You just kind of register through Facebook, and the customers, it's kind of like a virtual shopping experience they can do. It's great if somebody doesn't want to come in store, and it kind of helps them see how it fits and everything like that. So it just kind of, you know, boosts their confidence as far as what they're buying versus just shopping online. So all you do is comment sold, the size you want, and, you know, the item number or whatever you attach it to. You know, you don't have to do clothing. You can do gifts or anything like that. Typically, we make anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 per live. And so it definitely boosted our sales in that aspect, especially if people are still not comfortable wanting to come shop in store. Like I said, this is a little bit more of a virtual way to shop from the comfort of your own home, because I think that's one thing that we really kind of want to make sure is that you can make your customers feel as comfortable as possible in this time, because like not everybody is comfortable, you know, getting out and about. So,
and you do try them on so they can see the fit.
Yeah. So on the lives, you know, talk about it, try it on, that kind of thing. Like I said, it doesn't have to be necessarily just clothes. You know, you do them live, but we have a clothing store, and that's what I do it for. So.
And then to go along with like our, of course, really pushing online right now because not everyone's comfortable getting out. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with things like Klarna, Afterpay. There's tons out there right now. We use the platform Sizzle. It does increase our processing fees by about 4%. So we really, especially in our area, have to take into consideration, you know, our, you know, margins on what we're doing in our clothes, so we can make sure that we're not going in the hole doing stuff like this. But we've done really well with, you know, a lot of vendors and stuff are offering free shipping and things like that, which helps out on this kind of stuff. So we do Sizzle, which means that when the customer is shopping online, they can go and apply through the company, and then it comes right back to our website, and we get paid through Sizzle, and then they're responsible for making the payment. It's four payments over a 6-week period, which is awesome because we do carry a few high-end items like brands like Hobo and Spanx and things that, you know, a lot of people would right now might think it'd be hard to sell, you know, $400 purses. But, you know, when the customer's only paying $100 a week, they don't see it like that. And it actually has really helped us to increase our sales. So it's, you know, kind of worked out for us. So that's definitely something that we're really glad that we looked into and did, because it helps people, helps customers, you know, and it doesn't have to be a Hobo to Sizzle. They can Sizzle any purchase, no matter how, you know, much it is. So it really helps our customers out right now. And, you know, because a lot of people do have financial hardships right now. It helps them to keep shopping. So
Yeah, and they can do Sezzle on the online store, or if they're in-store shopping, you just ring it up and you invoice them the cart, and then they go through, and then we'll get a thing saying that it's been paid, and so then they just get their items. So really, we've tried to find ways to make it simple for our customers to be able to shop with us. You know, our customers here, they still are, you know, still wanting to come and do more. We've got a huge Black Friday event that we're going to be doing next Thursday. We're going to start at 8 o'clock on Thursday night, and then we'll do it all day on Friday. And I guess that's about it for us.
Well, thank you so much. That was a ton of really useful information and really unique way that you guys have adapted to selling online. That was awesome. Going next up, we have Logan Duval from McGee Market. So Logan, I'm gonna have you take it away. Oh, it looks like he's muted.
How's that?
There we go.
All right. Thank y'all for having me on for sure. So I think we've got a lot of good information out of those first two. So that's exciting. Some things that I need to be checking out. So I have got a 3-generation farmers market in North Little Rock. So I'm originally from Atkins, right outside of where Dylan's from,
Yep.
River Valley, Red Devil. And moved down here to Little Rock. I've actually really enjoyed city life in many, many ways. But me and McGee Market, a outdoor farmers market. And so we've got a venue. So we have food trucks that come through. We highlight all kinds of local products, meats, lots and lots of produce in peak season. And yeah, it's an outdoor farmers market, and it's fun. So my grandma's out here, my mom's out here, my sister. So it's big family. My little boy was diagnosed with cancer in 2019. And so when that, punched us in the gut, I dove into nutrition and what we can do to help people. And we added a health food store for all of the products that I was using for our family and for Lander. He's doing great, from stage 4 to cancer free in about 9 months. So God answered a whole lot of prayers on that one for sure. The health food store opened up educational opportunity for us. And so we really dove into how do we bring specialists together. Because he was immunocompromised, never gave an inch with the mask. And so when COVID hit, it didn't really change anything for us. So we weren't going to big box retailers and out and about. We were, a simple cold put us in the hospital on IV antibiotics if he got sick with anything. So COVID had big blow-ups out of the gate. People so ugly over the stinking masks and stuff. So again, protecting my family, not backing down. Ended up having news, national media even came out and did a story, insane about how ugly people were being, and I was trying to protect, my child. That taking care of people was huge for us. So COVID in a lot of ways has been a nightmare, but it was beneficial in a way that it gives you the opportunity to prove that you are actually going to take care of people. So a lot of people only felt comfortable coming out to us. We were outside. We did require masks. We were adamant about enforcing the policies. And so healthcare providers, any elderly, they just felt really good coming out here, and that it paid off. Yeah, it's seasonal. It's fun. We love what we do. We work with some of the best chefs and farmers and artisans in the world right here in Arkansas, and it is such a blessing to be able to showcase them and spread the word. And we're just going to keep trucking along.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Logan. Yeah, and it sounds like your determination and your determination to your family and your customers and making them feel safe has helped you guys a lot. And I guess also the
It
outdoor
does.
setting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very beneficial. And social media, I think Becky hit on that. Social media is big. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it takes time. And one thing I do want to add on that, when marketing on social media for us, I never try to sell anything. So it's always about community. I'm not saying anybody's done anything wrong. I'm saying this, when we put something out there, 99% of the time, it's just about some sort of an engagement. And so I think that's a big deal on having that following that trusts you, that you're not just trying to shove something in their face. And that's,
Right.
yeah, it's been really, really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, that relationship building online has become even more important now that we can't meet together. So that's a really good point too. Well, thank you so much, Logan. Thanks for repping the River Valley. And I'm sure we'll have some questions for you at the end. Next,
Absolutely.
we have Libby Womack Glasgow. So we had a bookstore, arcade, boutique, farmer's market, and now we have a restaurant, the Kiss the Cook in Paragould. So Libby, I want to have you kind of take it away and introduce yourself.
Great, thank you. Thanks for the invitation. I'm pleased to be in the middle of all of these different people, and I'm learning a lot. Just like Logan said, this is great information. We are Kiss the Cook is a 20-year-old, hopefully this coming February, locally owned, thank you, and operated restaurant. We started in the downtown section of Paragould. And in the past, in 2015, we moved to a location that was in between Jonesboro and Paragould. So we specialize in what we call homemade yum. So everything that we do is homemade. We have homemade breads. We do homemade desserts. We have lunches that we offer daily, sandwiches, salads, wraps, desserts, all of these things that are homemade. We're really proud of our homemade concept. In addition to that, we also offer a line of ready to heat and take home dinner options for our families, which we call our dinner on demand. We offer that through the week as well. I think the thing that we're most proud of probably is our charitable tip mission that we do. It's a ministry that started in 2013. At our restaurant, and because our staff works on a living wage in that they don't have to depend on tips for their income, they're able to, every tip that comes into the restaurant, we donate back to either charity, to local people who have had some, misfortune, just anything that we can do to give back to our community. And this is something that allows us and our customers to kind of group together and do something to give back. And they love it. They love being part of it as much as we love doing it. Let's see. How have we adapted? So I think when I first read this and saw that this was about people who are thriving during COVID, I thought, well, I don't know if that's a word that I could use for me or not. I think surviving is probably what we're all doing. And I love hearing the different stories about what people have done to just change and pivot their business in a way that would accommodate what's going on. And so that's what we've really done. We have a mantra, I guess, that I adopted back in the 90s when I was a special educator. And it's just try another way. I borrowed that from an educator from the 1970s, but if something doesn't work, you just try another way, and you try another way, and you try another way, and you don't wait really for it to tank. You don't wait for disaster. You don't wait for, you just move on. And so literally we've had so many changes that have happened. We actually became one of the first people, the first restaurants to close our doors because we had a pickup window. Not everybody is that fortunate, so I totally get it. But for, I guess, 7 months, we had our doors closed to the public. So we had no traffic coming in. We just had a window operating. And that was a huge, I just remember when we first went out there, I thought that pickup window was a nightmare, and it was just a blessing. But early on, just like everyone else, and we saw what was going on, and a lot of people were shutting down. A lot of things were happening with business, and it would have been, I guess, it would be not transparent to say that we didn't have a little bit of a meltdown because, you know, just wondering what was going to happen. But when you really base your business on faith and you base it on you know, faith in your clientele too, then you kind of regroup yourself and you realize they're going to help you out. We had a day where we had to just completely shut the business down after we had thousands of dollars of inventory that came in. Overnight, we priced everything to sell. The next day, we had to announce that we were going to shut the business down for 3 days, and we sold everything that we had in our inventory. I mean, down to loaves of bread and things like that, and people lined up around the corner just to help us out and just to buy out every bit of inventory that we had. And that's the kind of customers that we have, and we're very proud of that too. I guess the most memorable thing that we did as far as change in the business was during the time that we had to lay off half of our team. And we're a small business, so there were just 3 of us left. We had to just figure out how can we move people, how can we sell what we have in a way that's still good for us, but that we can move lots of and get people through here, because obviously 3 people couldn't do what we were used to doing. And so we basically became a kiosk version of our restaurant. We took the menu items that were the most popular, different salads, different things that were normally served heated and grilled. We offered everything cold. We put a menu out there and says, this is what you could call in, and here are the instructions on how to take it home, heat it up, and grill it. And the great thing was, at that time, everybody was home anyway. And so it really became, once they got used to it, it was kind of a fun thing, because I would get videos sent to me, or people would be home showing me how they become the in-home, you know, grill master with their family. So that was one way that for 6 weeks we ran a kiosk version of our restaurant. We didn't do anything hot. As far as marketing, and I loved hearing what Logan had to say about as far as when he uses social media, because that's really, we do try to push things on social media, but you know, marketing, we all have really an enormous ability right now, and enormous responsibility through our marketing to that we can really kind of turn and help the way this pandemic moves. And so every time that we're marketing, we have the opportunity to give those little gentle reminders about, well, here's what maybe the public should be doing right now. And Logan was correct. I mean, it was just, it's been a struggle with some people who don't feel that sense of responsibility. But for the most part, we have people who are very willing to do that. Sometimes they just need to be reminded of what those responsibilities are. So every time that we're marketing something through the restaurant, whether it's a lunch special or whether it's our Thanksgiving menu that's normally geared toward large families, we have an opportunity to market things like common sense and responsibility, compassion, catering to the greater good. So for example, normally our Thanksgiving menu is designed to serve larger families, maybe up to 20 or 25 people. We have a menu they can choose from where they order homemade dressings and all these different things, food items that they take home and they finish off in their ovens. Well, this year we modified that menu down to our largest casserole, our largest servings that we do is up to 10 people. And we let them know the reason that we're doing this is because it's an effort to do what we're supposed to do, be responsible, and sort of follow the guidelines that have been put in place by our local, our state, our national authorities. So it's really just a way to throw out those gentle reminders, and marketing, not to diminish what marketing is, but marketing is just putting an idea out there and making someone believe this is what I need, this is what I want to buy, this is what I have to do. And so if we can all sell a little bit of responsibility and compassion and things like that this year, along with what we're selling. I think we don't have to sacrifice one for the other. Let's see, as far as safety protocols, I think we've all gone through a lot of those this year, different things. When the Ready for Business grants came out, I don't know if anyone here was a recipient of something like that, but it made it possible for us to do things like we have an open kitchen concept, which I've always loved because I always want to communicate with all of our customers and the people who come in. Well, that changed that really quickly. And so my husband and I ended up taking most of our Ready for Business grant money was spent on plexiglass that went around this whole area. And he'll tell you that we did survive it as a couple, but it was something that we decided to do ourselves. And because I wanted to be able to, it would need to be thin enough so I could still engage with everybody, but it had to be high enough, you know, so that was kind of a fun challenge. As far as plans for the holidays and how to keep momentum going, you know, we just ride the wave. Whatever people need. Again, Thanksgiving and Christmas, as far as our restaurant, we also do a lot of catering. So that has changed this year. We've lost a lot of our bigger companies, but then we've gained some families. And we've done that through, you know, just like Logan pointed out, people trust you. They feel like they can come to you and that you're taking care of them. And I think local businesses, people trust local businesses to take care of them. So we've gained a lot of that too. So we have to listen to what's going on. We have to see what people are looking for this holiday season. And then we just ride the wave and see what happens. So. Again, thank you. I think I've covered everything that I was supposed to cover. I hope I did it in the 10-minute amount of time.
No, that was awesome. And what a great message of, you know, the small business community having an opportunity to sell kindness and compassion and community during this time. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. And now to bring it all home. So we've heard from a lot of businesses. And now we're going to hear from Carl Gefkin with Downtown Fort Smith. And he's going to talk to us about what all this means kind of in a regional, local level. So Carl, take it away.
Thank you, Dylan. It's a pleasure to have been asked to speak. I'm also city administrator for Fort Smith, and, you know, listening to all the good work that everyone's doing and trying to maintain all of the protocols, the safety protocols, because I'm sure many of us have heard today that we're heading in the wrong direction related to COVID. And although as a city and being so entrenched in our downtown businesses, which the city is, we're trying to continue the revitalization of the downtown with our CBID. The city has managed to work out very well for revenues. So people are home, they're buying, but I don't think they're necessarily buying locally. And so as we have shut down our holiday events out of Creekmore Park this year, which has not gone over very well, but again, we have to abide by the same rules and should try to be out front in order to make sure that we're the ones who are showing how it can be done and how we can all be safe during this period. When it comes to our downtown, one thing that we do is we do work with our Downtown Business Owners Association and our Restaurant and Bar Association in order to see how we can collaborate and help each other. So, for example, this year, there's no Christmas parade. Parades are kind of a difficult thing to offer. But what we're doing, our mayor and the city are sponsoring a downtown winter wonderland. And we're going to try to look to have events and provide a substitute, a safe substitute that will still attract people to our downtown area and go shopping safely in our businesses, but at the same point in time to potentially start a new tradition. so many people were missing the typical traditions, like we offer as our Holiday Express in Creekmore Park. So we're turning the lights on a little earlier. But if we can offer a safe alternative and still bring our residents in our region, River Valley region, to the downtown, all the better. One thing the city of Fort Smith is doing again this year is working collaboratively with our Fort Smith Regional Chamber of Commerce and offering free parking. We have, it's not a lot of money, it's 50 cents an hour on Garrison and 25 cents for 40 minutes, so it's not a lot of money. But we do charge for parking in the downtown area in order to make sure there's a good turnover of parking spaces, which many of our businesses appreciate. But we also look to see where we can remove parking meters. And we've done that at the far end of Garrison Avenue between 10th and 13th Streets. There's no call for parking, so therefore why charge for it? And again, that's helping those small businesses that are down there by having free parking, including our Fort Smith coffee shop that opened several years ago in an old gas station. They've said thank you for and given us a shout out for that. So free parking, buy local, shop local, that's our goal. And that's why we do this. And it used to be just from Black Friday through Christmas Day, and we've expanded it from day after Thanksgiving to New Year's. So it's our way of balancing off where some of our larger box stores are located with our smaller downtown shops and restaurants. Of course, we're tying in an entertainment district as well, very large entertainment district, but we're pulling it all together. And that's where I see the city being a catalyst or a partner. Because sometimes our decisions aren't necessarily the best or looked down as the best, but it's for a solid, good reason why we do our work here. But when we can look at parking meters and events that are now not going to happen, that's something where the city can jump in and to entice people, residents, to realize that we do have our shops downtown and that we want them to come down here. So it's that collaborative approach that we have been fostering over the past 4 or 5 years, and that we continue to do. And of course, when it comes to COVID and security and safety, we didn't pass a mask ordinance, but that's politics. However, we all worked together in making sure there was sufficient PPE, and we will still give it out for any business that needs it because we bought sufficient stores of masks and gloves and the like for our businesses. So again, helping our smaller businesses meet their needs, because the city has benefited from online shopping and shopping at the larger retailers. And I think it's our opportunity to give back and help our smaller businesses be able to weather this storm and still be here. Luckily, we've had some businesses open, and we have a very generous community that has answered the call, like in so many of the other businesses that are on today's Zoom call, that we've come out and made a point of shopping at those new businesses, at our local businesses, because that again is the heart. That's where the majority of our jobs are and always will be. And we recognize that. So, I do have a slightly different take, is being downtown, supporting the downtown, but also being part of city government and recognizing where we can help, if at all possible. So it's an interesting mix.
Awesome. Thank you for that perspective, Carl. And I personally appreciate you turning on the lights a little bit early. I think everyone kind of needs that this year. I know I already have my Christmas tree up. So
yeah, as the song goes, I think we need a little Christmas right this very minute.
For sure. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you all for our panelists. I really appreciate y'all's input. And at this time, I'm going to open this up to our attendees to ask our panelists any questions about how they've adapted or any strategies that they've used to adapt to COVID-19. Don't all jump at once. Well, I'll go ahead and ask, or I'll highlight, I guess, one of our businesses. I live in Russellville, and I go to Dog Ear Books quite a bit. And I just started using their coffee subscription, the Retro Roast coffee subscription, which is really neat, and it's socially distanced and environmentally sustainable. So they bring a mason jar of coffee to my doorstep every 2 weeks on Mondays. So I had some this morning, dropped it off yesterday. And I think that's a really unique way to kind of socially distance and serve your customers in a unique new way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been fun to do.
Yeah.
I think, from, again, a city's perspective, what we've seen here in Fort Smith and what you've had on today, all the businesses, they've adapted. They've managed to switch gears and continue to provide services maybe in a slightly different way through a kiosk, selling food or coffee. And it's been the same thing here in Fort Smith and in the River Valley region. So I think that's a real strength in Arkansas that despite the difficulties, the businesses have been able to adapt.
Absolutely. Yeah, I also want to highlight, I forget which community is doing this, but you mentioned a parade. And I've seen one community in Arkansas, they're planning an inverted parade. So all the floats are going to be stationary, and then the participants are going to drive by them, which is a really kind of unique idea that I thought I'd kind of spread to other communities if they want to participate in something like that.
Yeah, we did a mobile parade for the 4th of July where the mayor was on the float with large video screens showing fireworks. A lot of people liked it. Some people didn't because it was new, it was different, and people are, of course, are craving normalcy. So, but it was another way of trying to maintain that tradition, but do it slightly different.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in for a second?
Sure. Olivia, did you have something to say?
Well, I just wanted to point out, and this was something I wrote down when Becky was talking, because she spoke so much about transparency, and I love that. And I can't see Becky's face, but if I could, I would say, I really love the fact that, and this year in particular, it seems like it's so important to be completely transparent with our customers and with each other about things that are going on. You always want to do business with successful people. We've learned that in all of our years combined, probably in business. Of course, you want every day to be 70 degrees and the sun is shining to the public. But right now, the public understands that not everything is perfect. And so this has given us almost an opportunity, especially with social media. There's a little freakiness, I guess, about each one of us that we sort of keep at bay, our little craziness every now and then. This has been a really good opportunity for me and my staff to just sort of let that fly and let people see a little bit more humorous side of us. My sister is a principal in Fort Smith School District, and she watched one of our videos one day, and of course she is obviously needing a lot of humor in her life right now as an educator, but she said, Libby, please don't stop. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't stop laughing, and don't stop sharing that with everyone, because we need it. We all need to sort of to help each other and just be transparent with each other. Not every day is perfect, and not every day things are going right. And some days they are, and that's great. But as we ride that wave out, we have to share that with each other. I think it helps us all to know that, hey, this person is going through the same thing I'm going through. This business is going through the same kind of loss. We need to hear all those things.
So I was just gonna say, I'm also in Russellville with Dog Ear Books and with Dylan, and I'm very encouraged to hear that Fort Smith, what you all are doing, because we're doing something very similar. So I kind of feel like, okay, we're on the right track too. And what we found is that we couldn't get enough people to build floats and actually participate in a parade. So we had thought about doing the reverse parade, and we need to do that. So what we've done instead is we're having a downtown lighting event. We're actually having fireworks, which we did in June for our 150th anniversary. And we have found they are expensive, but they are an amazing spectacle for social distancing, because you can really spread out and watch them. So I wanted to just kind of say, I know I have noticed amongst businesses around here, some of them have really stepped up, and then others I feel like they've kind of stepped back. And it's just, I mean, it's amazing some of the things that we've been seeing. We've seen a lot of delivery, and we actually have a photographer who, I don't know how she was doing it because I don't know the technical side of photography, but she was actually able to photograph people in their homes. So I don't know if she was using FaceTime or if there was another application, but I was like, wow, that was it blew my mind, because I would have never in a million years thought of doing something like that. So it's crazy. We're just seeing a lot of creativity. Oh, and I'm going to say this before I go. So Dog Ear Books mug, but that's where I used to work before I became the Main Street director. And so working at a downtown business like that really inspired me to want to be downtown and to want to be able to do more for businesses. So everybody's doing an awesome job. I know it's tough.
Yeah, thank you so much for that comment. That was really important to to note that there's a lot of innovation happening, kind of forced innovation for COVID, but a lot of really, really neat innovations happening all over the state. And I wanted to ask Becky and her dog if she could talk a little bit more about, I think it was Sizzle. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so Sizzle is it's something that you can add on to your website, and when the customer checks out, they have the option to it goes through Sizzle. They apply through Sizzle. It's not a credit card or anything like that, but they do make 4 payments. So whatever the purchase of whatever their cart total is, they can spread that out over a 6-week period.
Got it.
So $100, they're gonna pay $25, 4 payments of $25 over the 4 weeks. So it just helps the customer out, because a lot of people are facing financial hardships right now with COVID, and it gives them an opportunity to buy things, and they've got they can take payments out of, and it can automatically come out of their checking account or however they set it up with Sizzle, but then Sizzle pays us. So we don't have to wait for those payments to come in. We're not collecting the money from the customer. It's Sizzle pays us directly, and then Sizzle deals with the customer as far as the payment.
Yeah, they don't fill out anything through us. There's no credit check through us or anything. We send them the card, or either they fill their card online, they select to pay with Sizzle, and then it's going to link them to where they put in their information of how their payments is going to be made every week. And so we have people that will Sizzle all the time. They may have
affect your credit. It's
and
not
it's
like
interest
a credit.
free.
It's free, and it does not affect their credit. So that's a big thing too. So they're not have to worry about hurting their credit to go shopping. It's just gives them a little more normal.
And we've probably been doing that for about a year.
Yeah,
I don't have any negatives that I could say about it. And I know we've been doing
our
it at
customers
least a year.
really, really love it, and especially right now at Christmas. People can come and do a lot of shopping at one time. And like we said, you can do it in store. We just send you your cart and you check out online, or you can do it through the website at the comfort of your own home. Either one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that sounds like a really unique service, and especially for stores who are selling more high-priced items. I think that's really neat. So yeah, thank you for sharing that again. Any other questions from our audience? Last call. Oh, it looks like we have a question in the chat. So with the holidays right around the corner, how is your business preparing for the busy shopping season compared to the previous years? And that was from Trevor. So I'll let any of our panelists take that.
The Perfects, we have spread out a lot of our events. So we have like our VIP customers, our text club, we allow them to, like on our Black Friday, for example, they can come in at a certain time. We sold special t-shirts that allowed that group of people to come in at a different time. And that way we don't have people rushing in all at one time for Black Friday, as opposed to last year where we had, hundreds of people trying to get in the store at one time and the store was packed. Well, we can't really do that this year. So we have made all of our events more spread out and offered opportunities to certain groups of people to shop at certain times. And that way our stores are not jam-packed full. Plus, of course, the comment sold and things like that. So you can shop from home and still see people trying on and things like that. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, another thing too, we did not mention our text club, but we do have a text club through Syntex. But what it is there's a number, so you can text the word perfect, PERFECTS, to the number 22452 if you want to kind of see how it works. That will put you in our text club. We send out 2, maybe 3 texts a week, but like for our open house event, if you were in the VIP text club, then the VIP event, say, started at 1 o'clock. So if you were in the text VIP club, then you could come an hour earlier than that. Or, if you bought the special t-shirt, because every year we do our own Christmas t-shirt, and then if you did that, then that would also get you in early. So just different things.
Awesome, thank you. And Emily, did you have something to add? That's why you unmuted.
I just thought she was going to say something.
Okay.
I love all of the ideas people are sharing. I've just made so many notes, and I appreciate every one of you for the encouraging words, because as we've all said, it's a hard time right now. We all understand it, but what amazes me is the resilience in the way that people have just gotten so creative and turned it around, and they haven't given up. And you guys are all perfect, perfect examples of that. So thank you all for your ideas and for sharing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're trying to create some community online with these kind of webinars, and I really appreciate everyone coming and sharing their ideas. And yeah, you guys shop local, shop early, and support our small businesses this year, because they really need it. And it's a great way to support your own community and your local economy. So yeah, thank you all so much for coming on, and have a great day. We appreciate it.